Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. जय राधा कृष्ण चंद्र राधे, जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम. जय निताय गौरांग जय निताय गौरांग. जय प्रहलाद नरसिंह जय सुदर्शन. जय जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद. जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद् हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय. जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय. मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय. नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय. जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय. गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय. वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय. श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय. श्री श्री निताय गौरांग की जय. श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव की जय. श्री श्री सुदर्शन भगवान की जय. हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय. समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. ग्रंथरा Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam की जय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhadresho Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 1st Canto, 10th Chapter, text number 20. Anyonyam Asit Sanjalpa Anyonyam Asit Sanjalpa Uttama Shloka Chetasa Uttama Shloka Chetasa Kauravendra Purastrina Kauravendra Purastrina Sarva Shruti Manoharaha Sarva Shruti Manoharaha Anyonyamasi Sanjalpa Uttama Shloka Chetasa Kauravendra Purastrina Sarva Shruti Manoharaha Anyonyamasi Sanjalpa Tama Shloka Chetasa Kauravendra Purastrina Sarva Shruti Manoharaha Anyonyamasi Sanjalpa Uttama Shloka Chetasa Kauravendra Purastrina Sarva Shruti Manoharaha Anyonyamasi Sanjalpa Uttama Shloka Chetasa Kauravendra Purastrina Sarva Shruti Mano Anyonyam. Among each other Asit there was Sanjalpaha talking Uttama Shloka the Supreme who is praised by selected poetry Chetasam of those whose hearts are absorbed in that way Kaurava Indra the king of the Kurus Pura capital Strinam all the ladies Sarva all Shruti the Vedas Manaha Haraha attractive to the mind. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. Absorbed in the thought of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, who is glorified in selected poetry, the ladies on the roofs of all the houses of Hastinapur began to talk of him. This talk was more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas. Please repeat. Absorbed in the thought of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, who is glorified in select poetry, the ladies on the roofs of all the houses of Hastinapur began to talk of him. This talk was more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in all the Vedic literatures, the goal is the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Factually, the glories of the Lord are depicted in such literature as the Vedas, Ramayana, and Mahabharata. And in the Bhagavatam, they are specifically mentioned in respect to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, while the ladies on the tops of the houses in the capital of the kings of the Kuru dynasty were talking about the Lord, their talk was more pleasing than the Vedic hymns. Anything sung in the praise of the Lord is Shruti mantra. There are songs of Thakur Narottam Das, one of the acharyas in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, composed in simple Bengali language. But Thakur Vishwanath Chakravarti, another very learned acharya of the same Sampradaya, has approved the songs by Thakur Narottam Das to be as good as Vedic mantras. And this is so because of the subject matter. The language is immaterial, but the subject matter is important. The ladies, who were all absorbed in the thought and actions of the Lord, developed the consciousness of Vedic wisdom by the grace of the Lord. And therefore, although such ladies might not have been very learned scholars in Sanskrit or otherwise, still, whatever they spoke was more attractive than the Vedic hymns. The Vedic hymns in the Upanishads are sometimes indirectly directed to the Supreme Lord, but the talks of the ladies were directly spoken of the Lord, and thus they were more pleasing to the heart. The ladies' talks appear to be more valuable than the learned Brahmana's benedictions. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Sanjalpa means talking. So this talking generally in this material world, it is a great impediment for spiritual advancement. That is why Rup Goswami has mentioned Atyahar Prayashascha Prajalpo Niyamagraha. So Prajalpa or unnecessary talks, gossips, they are great impediment. So what is unnecessary talk? Actually, every talk is unnecessary in the material world because it is a temporary affair. You are traveling in a train and you see the trees, animals passing by. You talk of them or don't talk of them, they will pass by. It's a temporary affair, temporary manifestation. And even though we can talk a lot, but we cannot make any change in it. प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहंकार विमूढ़ात्मा कर्ता अहमिति मन्यते. People are so much interested in these talks as if they are running the world. People are eager to listen, eager to talk about it. You travel in train and then just discuss anything about current affairs, politics, and then immediately there'll be international conference. Till you get down or they get down at their destination, they'll keep on talking. So they are so much fond of talking, Prajalpa. So for the materialist, these talks are very, very attractive. However, a wise man, he does not take interest in such talks. He remains silent, does not talk at all. I'm talking means I'm getting affected by it. So if we have to get out of this material world, one should practice not getting affected at all, not being very happy in any attainment, not being morose in any loss. So this indifference is very much required. But usually the people act other way around. They talk a lot. So that is why it is so very much important, as we have discussed many times. Raghunath Das Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis, he took sannyas. He was son of a very rich man, and then he went to Jagannath Puri. And he was very, very advanced. Even though he was living in a very opulent family, he was not at all attached to all those opulences. And when he went to Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately handed him over to Swarup Damodar. Swarup Damodar, who he was? He was secretary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was as good as Lord Chaitanya. And nobody can talk to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without getting approval from Swarup Damodar. Anybody has to present any poetry, compose anything, he has to first present to Swarup Damodar. So thus he was Mahaprabhu's secretary. Nobody had direct. He was the closest associate. And he was given the charge of Raghunath Das Goswami. You instruct him. But then Raghunath Das Goswami once desired to have some instruction from Lord Chaitanya. So if you want any instruction, what shall we do? We'll go and ask that person. But Swarup Damodar, Raghunath Das Goswami asked Swarup Damodar Goswami, not directly, that I have this question. So this is etiquette. He was not speaking to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly, but nevertheless he wanted instruction. So he told, can you please ask, what should I do in life? Can I get some guidelines? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to know Raghunath Das Goswami is asking something, he told, already I have handed you over to Swarup Damodar. So he will answer you. But still, because you have asked, I am giving you the instructions. And what instructions he gave? The first instruction was, Grame Kathana Shunibe. So this is extremely, extremely important instruction. Grame Kathana Shunibe. Never hear worldly talks. Why? Our entire material life and the concomitant miseries. Material life means life full of misery. People talk of goodness, badness, morality, ethics. Prabhupada tells it is of no use. Any goodness, any badness, any ethics, nothing is of use in this material world. Why? Because everything is contaminated. Somebody gives you black burnt rice without any salt. Or somebody brings you a very nice, nicely cooked exotic dish, pizza. What is better? Of course, pizza is better. But what if we tell that both are poisoned? What shall we choose? Both are having potassium cyanide. Somebody brings black rice and pizza. What shall we choose? What is good? Oh yes, pizza is very good. We'll enjoy that. No. Because it is poison, so both are bad. Both are causing your death. So those who are foolish, they will discriminate. Oh, this is not good. Let me work hard for pizza. I'll enjoy pizza. You will die whether you eat pizza or otherwise. Both are contaminated. In a similar way, this entire material world is full of contamination. The so-called good qualities and bad qualities, both are contaminating. If you do bad activity, again you are in the laws of nature. You do good activity, again you are under control of laws of nature immediately. So Prabhupada gives very nice example. Prabhupada says, what good you will do here? A boy wanted to do good to his brother. What good? Mother was not feeding him parathas. He told, my poor brother, he is crying, let me give him paratha. He gave him paratha, mother gave him tight slaps. Because the other brother was suffering from some liver infection, jaundice or some other disease. And paratha was, we are not supposed to have. So similarly, God puts the living entities into so-called suffering here. And that suffering is beneficial for the living entity. And if I think, oh, let me go and alleviate the suffering, let me help, this is called good activity. So for this good activity, nature gives us tight slaps. Okay, you will do good. So this is revolutionary concept. The whole world is engaged either in doing good activities or bad activities. These are all mental concoctions. Nothing is good. A pizza laced with poison is good. It is not good. Everything is bad. When a person does not have real eyes, real knowledge, he will tell this is good and this is bad. But everything is bad in this material world because everything is contaminated by three modes of nature. And three modes means repeated birth and death. And as long as we are living here, then lot of trouble, lot of anxiety every moment, fear every moment. But how do we develop such concoctions, such illusions? By hearing Gramya Katha, hearing people. Oh, this pizza, it is very good. It is so tasty. People will talk. And then we will develop aspiration. Oh, let me also work hard. Let me also enjoy. Who won't develop this desire because of hearing worldly talks, talks of people who do not have any knowledge. Entire material existence begins because of Gramya Katha. It is no ordinary thing. It is so dangerous. We are suffering only because we have heard Gramya Katha life after life. So our mental concoctions have become very strong. And we are convinced, if I do this, I'll be happy. I do not do this, let me make others happy. What happy will make others? Who has become happy? People have been trying for centuries. People are afraid genocide is going to happen. Save. Genocide was happening thousands of years ago also. Now also it is happening, in future also it will happen. This material world is a place of misery. Even if there is no genocide, there is death. Death is for sure. Even if you are able to, let's say, a society where there is no genocide, no problem, still will people don't die? Will people not die? They will still die. So when death is sure, whether they die by genocide or by other ways, the question is death should be stopped. This is most important question. However, these mental concoctions do not allow us. Life after life, we have cultivated these mental concoctions. This is bad, this is good. Running away from bad and chasing so-called good. All this has come because of Gramya Katha. We have heard these talks life after life. This is good and this is bad. Work hard to avoid bad. Work hard to get what is good. This is all mental concoction. We cannot do any good to ourselves or to anybody over here. The suffering, if it is there in the life of the people, that is ordained by nature. Is God handicapped that people are suffering, his children are suffering, and he is not doing anything? Will parents not do anything if children suffer? No, that suffering is also good. Surgery is required to cure the patient, give him good health in the long run. Similarly, such difficulties are created by God, are created by nature, which is under control of God, and that is for the good of the living entity. So that is why materially we cannot do anything to anybody. But if we want to help, we should help in connection with Krishna, Prabhupada explains. In connection with Krishna, you feed them. In connection with Krishna, you give them shelter. In connection with Krishna, if they can advance in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, we cannot do anything. So Krishna has arranged food for everybody, for animals, for ants, for insects, home for everybody. Everybody has got home, everybody has got food, everybody can have sex enjoyment. So these things are arranged for everyone. They have no knowledge, no storage. Anybody has refrigerators? Any other species? No. But do they die in shortage of food? No. Do you see animals dying because of starvation? Died in hunger? No. They don't die, even though they cannot store, but arrangement is there, proper arrangement. So why arrangement is not there for some who are suffering? It is for a reason. So that is why those who are theistic, those who firmly believe in God, they will understand this very clearly. If God, if anybody is suffering, can anybody suffer without desire of God, without sanction of God? No, nobody can suffer. That is why Krishna clearly tells in Bhagavad Gita, Ubhau Sukrit Dushkrite. Sukrit and Dushkriti, good works and bad works, both have to be abandoned. There is nothing good and bad. Good means so called eating tasty food, which is laced with poison, and eating so called rotten food, which is also poisoned. So everything in this material world is bad. It keeps a person entangled here. Everyone is enjoying or suffering as per destiny. The only solution is getting out of this place and taking others also out, helping others to get out. But this Grama Katha is extremely dangerous. So that is why the first instruction is Grama Katana Shunibe Kane. Do not hear. Do not lend your ears to hear this Grama Katha, otherwise we are finished. Again, same concoctions will become strong. We'll start building. Let me do this, let me not do this. Let me go here, let me avoid this. This is the first instruction. Do not hear material talks at all. And then next, do not talk about it also. Grame katha na karibe. Na shunibe na karibe. Don't hear and don't talk. Don't indulge in material talks. And the next, of course, bhalo na khaibo, bhalo na paribo. Don't become very attractive in this world by wearing very attractive dresses. Don't try to become center of attraction. God deserves to be center of attraction. Everyone's attention should be diverted towards God. So as we can see here, the women on the rooftops, their words are more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas. How their words are more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas? So these material talks are extremely unattractive. And Lord has forbidden, do not do material talks. Do not hear, do not talk. It is extremely unattractive. So how the talks of women are so attractive? They are not Vedic scholars. They apparently do not have great knowledge of the Vedas, apparently. Traditionally, only the men would become priests and scholars. So how they are producing some sound which is so attractive? Ordinarily, Krishna is prohibiting, Lord Chaitanya is prohibiting, do not do worldly talks. And here women, so there was a woman who was telling, she is into digital coaching now and has many other women clients. So she was sharing her challenges. Earlier she was into marketing. So this shift has brought some challenge. What is the challenge? So she tells, all these days I was working with men and there was hardly a woman in my team. Now it is very difficult for me to gel with women. I told, why? What is the problem? Well, I cannot do gossip and chit chat and all these things. Long talks. So that is the nature. Of course, not everyone has got pros and cons. Men, women have different behavior, but this is one nature. They want to talk, they want to chit chat, do some gossips. Normally, non-devotees I'm talking of. So that is the nature. So she's telling, I'm not comfortable because she has been in different company with men all these days, all these years. And now it is difficult for her to. So women are very fond of talking. So why these talks have become more attractive than the talks of the Brahmanas? The Brahmanas, they do practice silence, control their speech, control their senses, and then get educated in the Vedic knowledge for many, many years. And then they are able to produce some sounds through their realized spiritual experiences, which is attractive to Lord. But here the talks of women who are talking on the roof is more attractive. How? Because Prabhupada explains. Anyonyamasi sanjalpa uttama shloka chetasam. Chetasa means whose hearts are absorbed in that way. Uttama shloka chetasam. Their hearts are, Prabhupada explains. The ladies who were all absorbed in the thought and action of the Lord developed the consciousness of Vedic wisdom by the grace of the Lord. So they also were able to produce spiritual sound. So these talks are not ordinary material sounds. It is not Grame Katha. It is Krishna Katha. It is spiritual sound. How they were able to produce spiritual sounds? which are more attractive than the Vedic hymns, because Uttama Shloka Chetasam, their thoughts, they were completely absorbed in thoughts and actions of the Supreme Lord. So that is why Bhaluna Paribo, you should not try to become very attractive in this material world. If people get attracted towards us, what they will attain? We have been attracted to various things. People get attracted to various men, women, attractive personalities, celebrities. People get attracted to imaginary characters also, like huh? Superman, Spider-Man, Chacha Chaudhary. So many imaginary characters. People get absorbed. Novel characters, Spider-Man, Harry Potter, Batman. They read and they get absorbed. Or they get absorbed in thoughts of so-called real figures, gross figures in this world. They get absorbed? Yes. Young man easily gets absorbed in thoughts of young woman. Similarly, young woman gets absorbed in thoughts of young man. Parents get absorbed in thoughts of children very easily. So in this way, we are all knowing this art of getting absorbed in somebody's thoughts. But such absorption, what does it result in? More misery in life, more anxiety. But something different happens when there is absorption in thoughts of Krishna. And this we can very clearly understand. Absorption in thoughts of Krishna has got opposite effect. Everyone is absorbed. Everybody who's living here, we see so many buildings or we don't see on the other side. All these people who are living in all these buildings or in the sheds, they are all absorbed, yes or no? Yes, that is why they are working very hard. They are absorbed in somebody's thoughts so much. Could be a person, could be any object. I want this car. They practice, no? What is that called? Manifestation. They practice getting absorbed in the thoughts. I am pressing accelerator. And now feel you're changing the gears. You're steering, moving left, right. Huh? Absorbed in thoughts. So in this way, they practice getting absorbed in thoughts. So they are getting absorbed in thoughts of any place, any position, any person. That is why they are working very hard. Everyone is absorbed in thought. This only has brought more misery and more anxiety in life. Whereas some other people who are absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, their life is completely different. So thus we can understand that Krishna is objective reality. And the nature of Krishna and Krishna's thoughts, Krishna's form, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's names is completely different from the names, forms, pastimes, sounds of this world. Morning to evening people walk with headphones now, right? Eat with headphones, always. They cannot move without it. Always absorbed in some shravanam. Always they are hearing. But such hearing does not bring freedom from anxieties. So thus we can very clearly see that it is completely different. Krishna is completely different. Krishna's activities are different. Krishna's form is different, and it is completely spiritual. So that is why it is a big mistake to think that Krishna is an ordinary person or a historical figure. No, Krishna is not a historical figure. Krishna is eternal personality who manifested himself in history 5,000 years ago. And the proof is the result of getting absorbed in such thoughts. Women, their words have become more attractive than the talks of the Vedic hymns. And here also we can see when we absorb ourselves in the thoughts of Krishna, and those devotees who are able to absorb themselves in the thought of Krishna. Numerous examples. They are always satisfied, free from any fear and anxiety. That is why we should not try to become attractive. We should have a simple life. We should train ourselves and others. Everyone should get attracted towards Krishna. We should dress Krishna very nicely. So by dressing ourselves very nicely, we are always in anxiety. One actress Mataji became devotee, and one other trying to become devotee. So Prabhu asked, what is the difficulty that you face? So the greatest difficulty is you always have to look good. One Mataji told, I'm leaving this profession just because of this anxiety. That always you have to look good. I cannot eat nicely, cannot sleep nicely. Cannot. So a lot of tapasya is required if you have to look good, look attractive. So if you want to look attractive, there will be immense anxiety throughout the lives, anxiety. If you want to make Krishna attractive, freedom from anxieties immediately. So that is a bhalo na paribo. Do not wear very attractive dresses. Have a simple life. Simple living. Make Krishna very attractive. If people get attracted towards Krishna, their life will take a different route. So that is why life should be planned in such a nice way. It is not required to become a big Vedic scholar. It is not required to know Sanskrit language. No. Life should be planned in such a way that we are always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. That is what Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita. Yat karoshi, yat juhoshi, tadasi yad yad ashnashi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushu madarpanam. Yat karoshi, whatever you are doing, do it for Krishna. Offer the results to Krishna. Whatever you are offering in sacrifice, offer it to Krishna. Whatever you are giving in charity, give it to Krishna. Whatever you are eating, offer it to Krishna and eat. Where is the difficulty? In this way, always will be able to think of Krishna. Always, every action just for Krishna. 24 hours. Bhavantam evanucharam nirantaram. Nirantar means always, constantly. Bhavantam evanucharam nirantaram. We should have a consciousness that nirantar means without any cessation. Continuously, constantly. Prabhupada tells no, not 50% for material life, 50% for Krishna. No. I will take little nectar and little drops of poison also. Both I will take. I will have balance. 2 drops of poison, 2 drops of medicine. Then, no, it will not work. We have to stop taking poison, take medicine nicely. So that is why it is told Prabodhanand Saraswati. Very wonderful verses Prabhupada often quotes. So he's praying, Bhavantam evanucharan nirantaram. When will I be able to have this consciousness that always 100% I am engaged just in your service? And when will this happen, he tells? Prashanta Nishesha Manorathantaraha. This will happen when I am freed from Manorathantaraha, these mental concoctions that this is good and this is bad. These mental concoctions, this other consciousness, it is driving us. Somebody is in business consciousness. If I do business, I'll be happy. If I do not do business, I will suffer. Somebody student consciousness. If I get good marks, I'll be happy. I get good placement, I'll be happy. Not, I'll suffer. Somebody in different national consciousness, international consciousness, family consciousness. And in this way, we are having various concoctions that this is good and this is bad. Nothing. Everything is bad in all these consciousnesses. It does not help us. So one should become free from these mental concoctions that doing anything here will make us happy or not doing anything will make us sad. These are all mental concoctions. Prashant Nishesha. So Prashant means Prakrishta Rupena Shantaha, very, very peaceful. So when mind becomes completely peaceful, and it becomes peaceful only when one is freed from all these concoctions. Doing anything will make me happy, not doing anything will make me sad. One should become free from all these mental concoctions. Prashanta. Then mind becomes shant. I simply follow the instructions of Krishna, my spiritual master, completely. I do not follow the concoctions of my mind. When I am having this consciousness, then what happens? Then bhavan evanucharan nirantaram. Kadaham aikantika nitya kinkaram. Then I can become your unalloyed servant, nitya kinkaram. And then when we engage in service of Krishna like this, become nitya kinkara, mind becomes very peaceful, freed from concoctions. We are just serving Krishna. Then what happens? Then there is complete Krishna consciousness. Praharshayishyami sanatha jeevitam. Praharshayishyami means my heart becomes engladdened. And sanat. Now our anxieties is because we are anath. Nath means parent, guardian, or master. Anath means one who is orphan, not having any guardian or master or parent. So when the child is without parent, I think I discussed before also, because I personally have experience. So father would pick us up from the school. We were in kindergarten. And one day it so happened father did not come to pick up. And then all my classmates are going away one by one. Somebody is going in van, somebody in auto, somebody in rickshaw. Somebody's parents, they are coming. Now I'm the only person left. And father has not come, so I became very much anxious. Children do not know what is address, what is home, how to reach home. No idea. Completely dependent on parents. So father has not come. I started crying. And then I saw father coming at a distance on motorcycle. I became very happy. Oh, immediately, very peaceful. So that is called sanat. As soon as there is understanding, my father is here, person becomes freed from all anxiety. So that is why the devotee is always freed from all anxiety. Why? Because Krishna is there in my life. If I am suffering, very good, Krishna is giving this suffering. Why should I unnecessarily worry to come out of suffering? Krishna is giving suffering. That is very good. Krishna mare rakhe ke, Krishna rakhe mare ke. That is how Bharat Maharaj was. Bharat Maharaj, this country is called Bharatvarsh. Why this country is called Bharatvarsh? There have been many, many great kings, extraordinary kings, so powerful that they were going to Devlok to help the Devtas defeat the demons. So powerful. Very good, very nice moralist. But nevertheless, the planet was not named after them. The planet got named after Bharat Maharaj. Why? Because Bharat Maharaj was such an exalted devotee, he was able to go back to Godhead in just 3 lives. It takes millions of lifetimes to go back to Godhead, but he went back in 3 lifetimes. And Bharat Maharaj, how was his devotional service? Completely dependent on Lord. He was living with his, he was, as we discussed, not at all trying to act smart, even though he was most wise. He was so wise that he was able to remember his past lives also. But he did not speak at all. He was jad. Jad means dumb. He behaved like a dumb person. This is the sign of real intelligence. When a person acts as if one is dumb. Because as soon as you show your smartness, people will start getting attracted towards you. And then you will feel, oh, this world is very nice place. See, people care for me. They don't care for you, sir. They care for material assets which you are carrying. Your looks, your intelligence, your money. If these things are away, nobody will bother. Nobody will bother. Nobody will care. So that is why he behaved like a dumb person. These are the symptoms of most wise man. Not talking at all. He was not trying to have very good food. His father was, of course, affectionate. When father passed away, brothers were there. Brothers were treating him like actually a less intelligent man. And they were giving him some burnt pieces of rice, which are sticking to the pot. But he was happy eating those burnt grains also. He was satisfied in that. Then he would be made to sit in the farm for protecting the farm. He was happy to do that job. Like a scarecrow, he was sitting there. Then some dacoits came. They wanted to offer him to goddess Kali in sacrifice. He went, okay, take me. They were ready to cut him, to chop off his head. And he was ready, okay, chop off, cut my head. But then goddess Kali came out immediately and killed all those dacoits. So he was completely dependent, completely surrendered soul. Of course, we should not imitate. This is very, very advanced stage. But this is fact. This is the life of devotee. Sanata Jivita. Because he's Sanat. Sanat means he's knowing God is my protector. If God is giving me these burnt pieces of rice, let me have it. This is called dependence on Lord. So the more we practice dependence on Lord, the more Krishna takes care. Now we want to take charge. Consciousness has become so less, we are not even able to follow the basic rules, regulations, minimum time which is required for maintain our chanting, reading, hearing. So we should be very careful. At least this much. We cannot be so dependent, but we should not go to other extreme that we miss our basic principles only. This life is temporary, everything will go away. We should not waste time in mental concoctions. Understand, nothing is good, nothing is bad. We cannot do any good to anybody. Even if you do so-called good, those people will come again to suffer. In human form of life or different form of life, again they will die. Even if we have saved them from death, from disease, again they will come back and suffer from death and disease perpetually. So that is why it is useless. Every service is useless. to nation, to animals, to humans, to society. Because where is the question of service? First of all, we cannot change destiny. Even though we are telling we can change destiny, they will come back again if they are not liberated. So this point is very important to understand. The real service is giving them liberation, Krishna consciousness. That is why a devotee is in this way completely dependent on the Lord. Following the rules, regulations very nicely, very strictly, freed from all anxieties, because he knows Lord is my master. Lord is taking care of me. So that is why he is completely freed from praharshayishyami. He is always jubilant. Just like a small child is jubilant, free from all anxieties when he knows father is there, parents are there. With parents, he is free. They will take care. In a similar way, why people are having anxieties? Because they think there is no God who will take care of me. I have to take care of myself and many other people. But as soon as we become God conscious, he is taking care of everyone. Why he will not take care of me? So thus our devotees completely. So thus there is no problem in the world. The problem is lack of Krishna consciousness. If there is any anxiety, it is only because of lack of Krishna consciousness. That Krishna and Prabhupada are not in control. So I become anxious. No. Every arrangement is done by them. I am satisfied. Especially as a devotee, when I am following their instructions, I should be always satisfied. Krishna tells, Yena kena santushto, yayatma suprasidati. One who is somehow or other always satisfied. I am very satisfied with such a person. So one who always remains satisfied in every circumstance, Krishna becomes very satisfied, very pleased with such a person, because he knows, oh, he is satisfied with my arrangement. So this art we have to learn. Not remaining dissatisfied, but remaining satisfied in every circumstance, every situation. Not trying to unnecessarily work hard to change situation, change arrangement. No, arrangement is done by God. My happiness, distress is not dependent on the arrangement. Bharat Maharaj was in bliss in most unfavorable circumstances, most bad arrangement. So my satisfaction lies in satisfaction of Krishna. So simply if I maintain this consciousness, yat karoshi, yat juhoshi, tadasiyat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, everything for Krishna, then by such absorption in Krishna consciousness, one can elevate himself so much that one's words will surpass the mantras which are there in Vedas, because the Vedic mantras, the mantras in Upanishad, sometimes they indirectly point towards the Supreme Lord. They don't point directly. Because people cannot accept direct instructions of God. They are unable to comprehend the personality of Godhead. That is why talks are about Brahma, about the effulgence, about the impersonal aspect. But these verses, that is why, are not as pleasing, because they indirectly touch Krishna, glorify Krishna. But Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the talks of the women on the rooftop, they were directly about Krishna. Thus they were more pleasing. So this is most important. Prabhupada writes in the opening lines of the purport. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in all Vedic literatures, the goal is the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So the goal of all the Vedic literatures is Supreme Personality. So unless we come to the goal, we may have a vehicle, we may go to market, we may purchase food items, vegetables, bread, wheat, we may cook. But unless we eat, we will not be satisfied. The goal is eating. We have to eat. Similarly, Krishna very clearly tells, Vedaischa sarvair aham eva vedyo. From all the Vedas, I am to be known. So this very important point we have to explain to others. That please surrender to Krishna, think about Krishna, chant the names of Krishna. If you do not preach this, preach something else. Have a controlled life, have a simple life. All these things will neither satisfy them, nor will it satisfy us. So this is very important. Direct goal should be preached, and people should be educated. Thus, there is very nice conversation. Tamal Krishna Maharaj asks, Srila Prabhupada, sometimes we find a dilemma in preaching, in the sense that if we preach very vigorously, we invoke the attention of the authorities. That is to say, if we were to preach a little less vigorously, there might be less objection. But then again, there would be less benefit because we would not be preaching as vigorously. So it's very hard to know sometimes just how forcefully to preach. If you preach very directly, authorities or the administration may get disturbed. What is happening here? But if you do not do direct preaching, then it will not be effective. So just how much forcefully to preach? It's very hard to know, Prabhupada. No, we are not to satisfy the authorities. We have to satisfy Krishna. Just like Arjuna, he wanted to satisfy his family members. But Krishna did not like that. Then he preached him Bhagavad Gita. And then Arjuna agreed, yes, Karishye Vachanam Tava. So it is the duty of the devotee to satisfy Krishna, not the public. Brahmanand, another devotee, asks, in our Back to Godhead magazine, now the tendency is that they are not mentioning Krishna's name so much. They are not putting the picture of Krishna. They are not putting the pictures of devotees. They are stressing on the simple, natural life in order to please the public. So in Back to Godhead magazines, there appear to be some diluted content that no Krishna's picture and calm, stay calm, peaceful, natural way, and all these things were mentioned. In order to please the public, Prabhupada, no, why this is going on? Saswarup, probably because of this reasoning that they use this phrase that, quotes, we should have to make Krishna conscious more conventional. And with the shaved heads and the pictures of Krishna, people won't like it, unquote. So they have taken to this description of simple life, vague talk of spiritual life, reincarnation, meditation. You will talk just these words. If you hear any other so-called spiritualist, any other saint, they will talk about this reincarnation, Atma, soul, meditation. This is all what general spiritual societies talk of, but no talk of Krishna. Tripurari seems like a compromise. Tamal Krishna. People are speaking about our movement now. Many people say to us that you are selling out, compromising your position. Prabhupada, this should be stopped immediately. Why they are doing that without concocting? Tamal Krishna. There is a great deal of not approval amongst many of the senior devotees, Prabhupada, so immediately stop it. So sometimes we may think how to please the crowd. Crowd will be able to relate or not with my message. So this is because we are not convinced. There is no other reason. If we are convinced, the other person will definitely be convinced. It is told in sales also. The objection which you are having in your mind, the customer or client will put forth the same objection. And if you are clear, there will be no objection. So Karmis also realizes. So the problem is there in our conviction. If we are firmly, thoroughly convinced, other person will get convinced. We transfer our conviction. So that is why we should try to practice Krishna consciousness very nicely, rules, regulations very nicely. If we are thoroughly convinced, then we'll be able to convince others and present very directly, nicely, without any compromise. So we should not compromise. We should not just talk of reincarnation, soul, meditation, peacefulness, happiness, sense control, mind control. No. We are supposed to talk of Krishna and direct surrender to Krishna. Not punya, not pap, not moksha, not nishkam karma, not akam, nothing. We have to talk about unless matirna Krishna parato swatoa Krishnamati, Krishna consciousness. Unless somebody completely surrenders unto Krishna, prashant nishesh manorathantara, nirantaram bhavantam evanu charan nirantaram. Unless somebody decides 100% Krishna consciousness, there is not going to be any satisfaction in life. This is preaching, Prabhupada. It's very simple. Krishna is telling Saradharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja. We should go and talk same thing to people. Surrender completely unto Krishna. Man mana bhav mat bhakto. Think of Krishna, become devotee of Krishna. And unless people come to this point, they will not be satisfied and we will also not be satisfied. If we follow this, then our words become more attractive than the words of the selected Vedic hymns. With this, we will end. Any questions? Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Yeah.
It is said that the Vedas have come from the God. So how will our words be more attractive than words of God?
Very good question. So it is told that Vedas have come from God. How will our words be more attractive than the words of God? So everything is coming from God. There is nothing janmadi asayataha. the rabdi is also coming from God and stool is also coming from God. But rabdi is attractive and stool is not attractive materially. Similarly, there is nothing which has not come from God. But the most confidential instructions, they are revealed only to pure devotees of God, and they are most attractive to the spirit soul. Because Vedic instructions, they are meant for gradual elevation, right from the person who is completely tamasic. So there is instruction, you can drink also, you can take meat also. It is Vedic injunction, you can consume meat. Meat is not forbidden in the Vedas. Because there are some people who cannot give up meat, but at least their tendency should be minimized. So it is told you offer goat as a sacrifice to goddess Kali once in a month on the outskirts of the city, and then he will tell, oh, so much botheration, who will take? Better let me stop eating meat. It is discouragement. So in order to help everyone, gross tamasic person, rajasic person, sattvic person, everybody has to advance. So that is why gradual steps are being given in the Vedas. So the direct instructions are also there in very confidential portions. Otherwise, mostly Vedic knowledge is just about three modes of nature, so that gradually people can elevate. But this gradual elevation does not satisfy unless somebody actually reaches the stage of Krishna consciousness. Any other question?
In that you gave the example of that his brother gave one paratha and a
Yeah.
mother was not giving.
Yes.
So he got slapped.
Yeah.
So one who is doing good to other people,
Yeah.
they will get slapped from
Yes.
material nature.
Yes.
But we see that do good to other people according to religious scriptures or whatever, they are promoted to heavenly planets.
Yes. Yes.
So they enjoy there. So
Yes.
how we can understand this?
Yes. So now, do I need to repeat or it is audible? It is audible, no question. Yeah. So I'll not repeat now. The question is audible. We see when people do good activity, they are promoted to heavenly planets. If you open schools, you will become very learned man in next life. You give lot of charity, you will become rich man in next life. So in this way, you get promotion. But we just discussed that nature will give us a slap. So how do we understand? One is going to heavenly planet, where is slap? So yes, this is slap. Nature will slap you in heaven. But slapping will not stop. So if you think getting slapped in America is better, my wife, she slaps me in America. Your wife slaps you in Jagdalpur. I'm more advanced. My wife slaps me in America. If you think getting slapped by wife in America is better, okay, you go to America and get slapped. That is better. So the difficulties of the nature, they are existing, as Prabhupada explains. The person who is rich, he also will die. He also will get diseased. His joints also will pain. So misery is same. He also will bear separation from the loved ones. Thus the misery is same. And pleasure is also same. So it is only mental concoction. Something is pleasure, something is not. Only there is difference of situation. I am suffering here from frying pan to fire. You can choose. Burning will not stop. So in this way, nature is slapping. The trouble, anxieties are always there. Question is, then people will stop doing good to others. They should stop. Yeah. That is what Krishna is telling. Obey Sukriti Dushkriti. Stop doing good to others because you are not doing any good. But those who are so foolish that they cannot understand this, for them instruction is there. Okay, do good to others. And by doing good to others, at least you will develop sanity. If a person is doing grossly also bad, he is completely insane. So if a person starts doing good activities, there is some purification to the heart. One day he can understand what is my ultimate good. But this is good is not ultimate. It is not actually helping anybody, just helping him purify his consciousness. That's it. Line?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you mentioned that kingdom of God is made up of spirit. What is spirit, and does soul and the spirit are same?
Yes, soul and spirit are the same thing. And what is spirit? Spirit is a substance. Rather, spirit is the only substance. Everything else is just illusory manifestation of the same spirit. As we have discussed many, many times, you go to Tussauds Wax Museum, you'll find apple there, you'll find fruits, wines, berries there, you'll find men, women over there, but there is no man, there is no woman, there is no apple, everything is wax. Wax is the only substance. In a similar way here, the only substance is Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, the Brahma or spirit. The spirit only is manifest as stable as my body, my mind, your mind. Everything is manifestation of spirit. The ultimate substance is only spirit. So we are that actual spiritual substance. We are not this matter. So we have to realize this.
Thus, 5,000 years ago, there were Hindus, Muslims, and Christianity, different religions existing.
5,000 years ago, as it is mentioned in the Puranas, the language was existing. The Arabic language, as it is mentioned here in the Narsimha Puran, that a person is dying because he was hit by a boar, wild boar. And then he is crying, Haram, Haram, because in their language, pigs or boars are considered haram, impure. So he's crying Haram, Haram, and then he gets liberated because there is Ram in Haram. So that at the time of death, he chanted Ram indirectly. So thus, there it is mentioned. So it appears in Puranic times also, these languages and the beliefs also were existing because Haram is a belief and it's a language also. So exact details we do not know. Since when these beliefs are existing, when this started, but from Puranic times it is there. But yes, prominently after Prophet Muhammad came, he promulgated, he preached very widely this belief and language, otherwise it was existing. Yes, so Buddhism also, so it may not be exactly Buddhism like we call Mohammedanism. So, or we call Muhammadan the Muslims because they are followers of Prophet Muhammad. But before him also some other prophets would be there, some other person might be there. So what is Buddhism basically? Buddhism is voidism, that there is no spirit and there is no reason for this world. Everything has come from zero. Voidism. Everything has come from zero. This is one philosophy. So Krishna is discussing this philosophy with Arjuna, that even if you believe that you do not exist eternally, still what is the reason of crying? Because then this body is simply chemical. Who cries for loss of chemicals? If you think there is no soul, nothing, then who cries for loss of chemicals? Even if you believe in this theory, thus this philosophy was existing even before Lord Buddha came. But Lord Buddha, he widely preached this philosophy. So thus we can understand languages, beliefs, they appear to be existing always.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, people at times get attracted to simplicity. Even if a devotee tries to act with simplicity, people get attracted to him. How do we understand this? He does not desire to be a center of attraction.
Okay, so if despite our being simple, people are getting attracted, so that is not in our hands. But we should not try to become attractive. Just like when we serve Krishna, sometimes there would be pleasant sensory experiences also. Prasadam, when we eat it, could be very tasty at times. That is all right. Prasadam, similarly, the flower prasadam, nice fragrance. That is all right. Incense, very nice fragrance. That is all right. Similarly, when we do kirtan sometimes, so it is very nice to sing, dance here. That is all right. But I don't want to hear anything for my pleasure. I want to sing for Lord. If that is pleasant to my senses, that is okay. Not pleasant, that is also okay. So no problem in that. But artificially trying to get attractive in the eyes of people, that is not good.
There is no difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarup Damodar. I think you told.
Yes. So there is no difference between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sarup Damodar in the sense they were, uh, he was having the same spiritual ecstasy, same spiritual realization. It is told he was another form. He was such an intimate servant that it is told he was another form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But there is definitely difference. He's Supreme Personality and he's servant, but the servant has become so close. He's relishing the same ecstasies.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, while preparing for the preaching, let's say for example, we are going somewhere else, and we try to present it in the best possible manner, right? So in that, no matter our content is pure, our delivery of Krishna consciousness, but the externals also matter. For example, the way we are interacting with them, the way we are opening the session, all these things, which are like different elements which are required to make it decorated and presentable.
Yes.
And then putting the core philosophy like that. So in one sense, we are trying to look attractive, smart, so that smart people can hear only smart people. If we feel like dumb, some simple, some like no etiquette or something, then they may not give their ears to us. So how do we understand this thing?
So yes, definitely we have to be smart, we have to be intelligent. So our philosophy is not to have a shabby show or shabby put up, as some disciples when they were committing mistakes in publishing books. So Prabhupada told it is not our policy to commit mistakes deliberately. But because I was alone, I was doing the proofreading, typing, editing, everything. So there might be some mistakes in the books which I have published. So don't imitate me. Just like we don't imitate Ras Leela of Krishna. So don't imitate me. You try to produce perfect literature. It is not our policy. So that is why Yadvaga Visargo Janataga Viplavo Abadhavatyapi Prati Shlokam, even though the shlokas are not very nicely composed, still they will bring revolution because of their spiritual purity. So thus we should try to present Krishna consciousness as nicely as possible, but even though we have some limitations, that is all right. That is the meaning of this statement. It does not mean we are careless in our presentation. That is why Prabhupada told, dress well before you address. So I am not dressing nicely because I want to become attractive, but at least I will have a nice dhoti kurta, clean dress. So then otherwise people will have a wrong impression of the movement. So that is why we have to take care of the externals and try to make the talk as interesting as possible without compromising on the principles of Krishna consciousness. Yes. Online, I hope we are done with the questions. So first we'll take online questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, deities of Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were worshipped at VCM, which were being taken care of Mahaprabhu's grandparents. But Mahaprabhu didn't even incarnate, so how were the deities available?
I am not sure of this. I do not know.
Does Hare Krishna Prabhu, does the different festival needs to be celebrated such as Ganesh Chaturthi as Krishna is the supreme god?
Not required.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, how can we get rid of this attraction?
Which attraction?
This attraction overall in general.
Okay. How we can get rid of material attraction? So we have to engage in Krishna consciousness. Krishna will change the nature of our body. Krishna will bless. This material attraction is also created by Krishna, yes? North Pole, South Pole. Who created? Krishna created. Atomic forces, Krishna created. Gravitational forces, Krishna created. So all attraction or repulsion, it is created by Krishna only. Man, woman, who created? Krishna created. When only men were there, everyone was going back to Godhead. Then Brahma created women. Then nobody went back. It is told in Bhagavatam. So nobody is attracted to material world. So Brahma thought, what is this? How my world will get populated? So this design is created by God. So thus we have to engage nicely in service of Krishna. Then Krishna will change the nature of our body. And then we will no longer be attracted. So follow surrender to spiritual master completely and follow the rules and regulations strictly.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, how do we know whom to preach as most people seems to be non-devotees only? Too much confusion how to preach.
So that is why preaching is always difficult. Sales is always difficult. You have to go touch people. Mostly people do not accept any product. The buyers are very far and few. So we have to try, and initially, as we discussed, we just have to look for devotees. Some people are ready. We just have to touch them and they'll become, so touch more and more people. You'll find some people who are ready. Unnecessary, we should not break our head. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, it is told in Chaitanya Charitamrita that he was preaching in Bengal. But then people did not take up Krishna consciousness in Bengal. But when he went to South India, so many devotees he made, so many devotees. One who heard from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became devotee. He'll go and talk in his village, they will also become devotee. And others who hear from this person, they'll also become devotee. In this way, villages and villages got converted to Krishna consciousness. So, but it is told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not show this mercy in Bengal. Why? People were not receptive. So Prabhupada explains in purport. These are the guidelines for a preacher. One should not waste time where people are not interested. So because people were not interested, impersonalism was very rampant. Mahaprabhu did not show his mercy. And then he went to South India, and then people became very easily, they were ready. So that is why preacher should be intelligent. Prabhupada also always wrote, disciples went to a city and people were not picking up. Prabhupada told, if there is no response from people, move on. Need not waste time, move on. World is so big. That is why Prabhupada told, in India, when I saw no intelligent people were coming, then I came to your country. People were not taking interest here. Intelligent people were busy in government jobs and business, economic development. So then he told, I came to your country. So thus time is very less. Some people are ready. Correct? You have to sell a big car. And then you are following it very nicely with a poor person. Take, no, why don't you take? Purchase. It is very good. It has so many features. He cannot afford. Similarly, not everyone can afford Krishna consciousness. So that is why we should touch many people, and some people will be ready. And when we advance very much, then we'll be able to give, okay, take money and now you purchase. We'll be able to give him the affordability also. That is advanced stage, Prabhupada. He can make anybody pick up Krishna consciousness. That is very advanced stage. So for now, what we have to do is touch more and more people. Some rare people will be interested. That is very good. Need not worry. Find them. Okay.
So Prabhu, why could not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu give this money to the Bengal people?
Okay, so the question is why Mahaprabhu is so advanced. So that is why, to set an example. Then Mahaprabhu told Nityanand Prabhu, I do not find anybody. When he went to Jagannath Puri, they were all coming back after Rath Yatra. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave different instructions to different devotees. Then to Nityanand Prabhu he told, O saintly person, you do not come back here now. Because I do not see anybody who can do this task of spreading Krishna consciousness in Bengal. I have also been unable, but I think only you can do the task. So Nityanand Prabhu is more merciful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also could not preach. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preached only to intelligent people, intellectuals, ministers and great scholars, priests. But Nityanand Prabhu, he preached to anybody, everybody, town and village in Bengal. So this is just to glorify the exalted position of Nityanand Prabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he enacted this pastime. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय, श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की, श्री श्री निताय गौरांग की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की।